Good evening, everyone. Whoa, whoa, whoa! What a day! Absolutely shattered, completely drained. Got back in, had a bag of fish and chips, settled down for a bit, and we're live on extra time. But if there was ever a show that you have to do on the day after a match, which is an away day, it's today. I mean, today, that match was insane. There's no Amy today. She has been to the match today, but she's out celebrating or somewhere. But you got me. We've got 5 guests backstage. We've got Kev, Sam, Paul, Scott, and Craig, all coming on to tell us all about that insane game. Let's just rewind. I mean, it's ended up Aston Villa 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 3, and after 80 minutes of that game, 80 minutes, we were 2-0 down and looking like we're heading to defeat, but not this team. My niece's husband got a ticket to the game and he ended up just sitting to the side of me, and with 20 minutes to go, he left, and I'm like, I said to him, Lee, why are you going? I know he had to get back or anything. I said, you don't leave games early. We're still Wolves. And he had to go. And he's missed the most incredible comeback. One of the most incredible comebacks I can remember. I mean, like, when the first goal was in, it was game on. I'm going to just put a little description before we start talking to the guests. I felt as though if it was a boxing match, we'd threw a few punches, had a few go, but Villa had probably outboxed us a little bit technically, got in the lead 2-0, and then it was like a Rocky show, and we swung a punch, caught them on the chin, dazed them, and then it was like we just went in on them for the last 10 minutes, and then that winner at the end. I mean, Cody scoring the equaliser was amazing. How we scrambled it over the line, and then when Ruben Neves stepped up to take that one, we're like, come on, Ruben, a Ruben Neves worldie. It wasn't a worldie. And it kind of like, for a split second, it was all like, almost like time stood still. Where's the ball? And then you just saw it bouncing into one side of the goal. And then all bedlam takes place in the Wolves' end. Limbs going everywhere. I think there's a couple that, and in the famous thing, some people are on the pitch. They think it's all over. The final whistle goes, and it is now. Unbelievable, insane, just crazy finish to a game, and we've won that derby. And then the emotion at the end from the players coming over was just a special moment to be there, to share that with all of the fans in that stadium. And we stayed for about 10 or 15 minutes after. I know some stayed even longer singing, and it was just a special day. Anyway, we're going to bring on our first guest today. We haven't had him on for a while, but I'm sure he's got a lot to say about this. He's Kevin Rogers. Hi, Kev.
Hi there, Dave. Good to be back. I thought you forgot me.
No, mate, never forgot. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Sometimes it's difficult for you to come on. I asked you a couple of times, and then today you managed to do it. Did you go today or what?
I did, yes. Yeah, fortunately, I was there.
You did. Just talk me through how you were feeling when Villa's second goal went in and 80 minutes to go, how you were feeling at that moment.
I just couldn't see a way back, Dave. The next goal, to me, had got to be Villa's. They really took control of the game. And we just seemed, once that second one went in, for 10 minutes, we just seemed to fall apart. There were so many misplaced passes, people trying things that just didn't come off, and you thought, this is just not going to be our day. But this is football, isn't it, Dave?
Mate, I tell you what,
this is why we go. This is why my voice is still hoarse.
I can hear it, mate. I can hear it.
The third. I couldn't quite believe it when the first one went in, because we were so out of the game.
Yeah.
And then it kind of, Okay, that's
It was a good
great.
move to get the goal, actually. We got behind them and pulled it back, and Sayis was there to tap it away. Well, put it in the back of the net. Great finish.
He just, I've watched the goal back, and I hadn't quite appreciated just how good a goal it was.
Yeah.
I mean, Pedence came on, and to me, Pedence completely changed the game.
100% agree.
He was taking the ball forward. He was driving forward. He was pulling their defenders around, which we hadn't really done throughout the game, and completely changed the game. Fantastic cross, and easy touching for Sice, and you thought, yeah, that's a nice consolation. Given I'll take the 2-1 from where we seemed in the second half.
You know what? At that point when we scored that goal, I know you probably, that if you're listening to this or back on the podcast, you're watching it live on YouTube or you're watching it back on YouTube. I said, and there's a few guys that I've said it to before the game. I don't know. I had this vision that we were going to score a last minute winner. I was just kept thinking about it. Imagine. And I just never said it on my preview, but I just had this thing. I said it to a few guys before the game. They came up after. He said, you said it. And when that first one went in, I just felt it, man. I just felt we could, because at 2-0, they say it's a dangerous scoreline, don't they? They get the third. But if you get that goal back, all of a sudden, it energised us and they tensed up. And the game
Villa just went into panic mode. They just dropped deeper and deeper. And, fair play to the manager. He got that tactic right. Pedence come on, just moving the defence around. And the things that wasn't going right in the first 80 minutes, all of a sudden started to click. Second one goes in, and you think we're going to get a winner here.
I was saying it, man. I was saying we're going to win it. We're going to win it 3-2.
They had completely bottled it, which was fantastic. And the banter between the crowd then was just so cool, because they were giving it this, weren't they, and saying 2-0 and all that, and you're thinking, oh, hate you lot, bloody hate you lot. And so once we pulled it back to 2-0, and then you still don't, you're happy that you got the point. But then the free kick, and again, fair play to Adama. Really good run, driving, committing the defence, gets the free kick. And the guy in front of me turns around and he says, this is going straight in, this is. And I said, that would just be fairy tale stuff, wasn't it?
We were all thinking Neves worldy about it. It was like, when we got that free kick, it was central. It was perfect thing out. We thought Neves can put this away. And as it happened, it took that deflection. And for a split second, I lost the ball. And then you saw the ball go the other side. And it seemed to go in slow motion and then it hit the back of the net. And then tell me what it was like when that crossed the line where you were.
It was utter bedlam. We were in the top tier. It was utter bedlam. There were bodies flying everywhere. It was just utter carnage. And again, that's why we go to the games, isn't it, Dave? And I felt sorry for your mate that missed that, because anything can happen, can't it? And sometimes it does. And it was just absolute carnage. And we were looking down, and there were just bodies everywhere. There were people on the pitch, the players. And I've seen some of the pictures since then, and
have you seen the emotion on the players' faces and on the fans and the way they came to the fans? And I mean, Cody, when he scored that equaliser as well, I mean, that was magic for Cody.
Where the hell did Sarr come from as well?
I know. Sarr was down there for both goals, the second and the third. And what a great save he made in the first half as well, by the way.
Yeah.
It was 0-0 at the time. He made a really good save, and he obviously won the Castori Player of the Month last month. Well deserved, a couple of double saves and the assist for the Raul goal. He had a bit of stick, but I think he's turned a lot of doubters around.
Lindsay and I were talking before the game, and we were just watching them warm up, because we've never been to a game so early. We were there an hour and a half before which is unheard of. So we were watching all the warm up, and Lindsay said he thinks we've done a real good bit of business. I was kind of worried when Patricio went, but if you think about what money we paid for Sarr, And he's a class keeper. Different qualities. But
Talking about keepers as well. Did you see the pictures of the touchline with John Ruddy celebrating? I mean, he doesn't get to start, look, but he's so positive. He's going to be a coach or a manager one day, John Ruddy. But you just, the emotion on his face when the third one went in as well from the touchline, it was incredible.
Just absolutely superb.
It's definitely a day that we can say that we were glad to be there. I mean, it wasn't feeling like it after 80 minutes. I thought he made the substitutions a bit late. He just tend to do that, Bruno Lage. I think, like you, Podence made a real impact. And it was interesting, he brought Fabio on, and Fabio did put himself around. I mean, he tried to do an overhead cycle kick at one point. But I said in my preview, I didn't expect Raul to start because he played on Thursday. He had the travelling. He brought him on for the last 5 or 10 minutes. But apparently Raul was pacing up and down the touchline for 30 minutes saying, bring me on, bring me on, bring me on.
Yeah, I've read the report from Bruno's comments after the game, and they make absolutely perfect sense. And that's one of the things I really like about him. He really goes and talks detail, doesn't he? The reasons why he did things. And he said he just didn't want to chance Raul getting injured, because we just can't afford to have that happen, can we?
Absolutely. And Bruce Hur said, what the hell happened to Awang? He didn't have the best of game, but I think in his defence, without Raul up front, we were especially, I mean, it was a bit of an even keel, nervy start from both teams. Both teams had a couple of chances. Obviously, Villa had the better chances. Adama made that run, which would have been one of the contenders for goal of the season if he'd have scored it, but typical Adama, he didn't. And then we kept giving the ball back, and it wasn't sticking up front. And Raul and Wang up front, they're fast, they're strong, but they don't hold the ball up like an Adama, like a Raul Jimenez, and it wasn't sticking. I thought the last 10 minutes of the first half, we started to get into the game, and then, of course, they hit us with that sucker punch 2 minutes in. Ings is deadly. He's a deadly finisher. It was a good header, good finish. He got a good strike for the second goal, although that took a deflection and took it away from Sarr. But you've got to admire the way they stuck him. But I thought he did leave the substitutions. I thought it might have been too late. But Podence, I don't know whether it's because he's small and they couldn't see him. He was like invisible. He kept turning him. They kept losing him and turning one way or the other. And he created space for others to get in. And I thought he made a big impact. And I thought Fabio did a good job of putting himself about as well with energy. And we needed that energy. And that sort of like that first goal, it changed everything.
That small area that Podence plays in on the edge of the 18-yard box. And then when he starts to drive and draw the defenders in, creates havoc, because it just pulls them out of shape. And then they really haven't got a clue what he's going to do. Does he beat them? Does he go in the back, or does he bring another player in? And again, that's something different that we don't have. But whether he's a 90-minute player,
time will tell.
He's not shown that yet, has he?
No.
But he's certainly something different, and certainly something defenders do not like defending against.
Absolutely. And Kev, just to finish off your segment on the show, we got you on first, which is brilliant. Let's give your overall performance rating. If you want to split it into two and go first 80 minutes and last 15, because it was 95th minute winner, you can. And who's your man of the match?
First 80 minutes, I'd give it a 5.
Yeah.
But the last 10 minutes, sorry, the last 15 minutes was 10.
So an average of about 7.5 then.
Yeah. Man of the match, I'd say Neves.
Neves, he had a very
again, it wasn't his best game, but he didn't ever shy away of wanting the ball and trying to do things. So
he loves his club.
I would give him man of the match.
He loves his club, and the fans were a perfect 10 today as well. Absolutely. Kev, absolutely brilliant to have you back on the channel after a big break.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you got to be there and witness that today and be part of that emotion. We do have also that's joined us is Jess, going to be making her debut. She watched it at home, and I've seen the reaction to her and her dad jumping around the living room. She was almost there in spirit, but she'll be coming on later on in the show as well. Kev, thanks ever so much, mate, and we'll see you hopefully on the next one.
Yeah, pleasure as always, Dave.
Cheers, buddy. So that's Kev. Great to have him on. And next on, who I got to have a chat with before the game. Hello, Paul.
Hi, Dave. Nice to see you before.
You remember me saying before the game I fancy an added time winner for Wolves? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, it's true. He did say that.
I know. It's like I don't know what it was, man. I just had this vision of a last-minute goal and Bedlam, and it absolutely happened. A lot of people won't believe I said it, but I did actually say it. It was unbelievable. But you wouldn't have thought that was going to happen after 80 minutes, would you, Paul?
No way. I mean, I think Kev just said that when we pulled a goal back, it did feel like it was just pulling a goal back, because it wasn't like their goalie was making loads of saves or we were creating loads of chances. It felt like the game had almost begun to drift away a bit from us. Obviously, the Villa fans thought the same because they were singing "Mind the Gap," and
that aged well for them, didn't it?
Yeah, they thought it was a bit of a done deal. But from their point of view, I can kind of see why they might have thought that, because it wasn't like you thought, "Oh, we're going to score any second now, and it's all going to change." But once we did score, then it all did change.
Oh, mate, it was just better. I mean, talk me through that last 15 minutes.
Well, I've watched it back, the highlights. You can watch it on the Sky Sports app, and I think one key thing that helped make the change was just the amount of bodies forward. I paused it on the equalising goal, and it's clipped into the back post. And I think Dendoncker kind of sets it back across for Cody to score. And we've got 6 players in the box, and it's not directly from a corner because it gets cleared once, it goes back in, and then it comes back out, and then it goes back in. So I think it's really positive that so many men were in the box, because that's a big
criticism the bar as well, didn't they?
Yeah, we just didn't let them out, and maybe that was down to their inability to clear their lines properly. But credit must go for keeping the attack alive and keeping lots of men forward. And it's just a real positive, because I've picked up on that in the past. I don't think we get enough players in the box. But if you get enough players in the box and get enough balls in there, eventually you make your own luck.
Oh, absolutely, mate. I mean, I think you're absolutely right with that, because you do make your own luck, and I think we've not had the run of the ball sometimes, and the deflection. I mean, I didn't see quite the trajectory of the ball, whether it was going top corner or over. I mean, I don't know if you
could... The Neves one was going well. It was going the opposite way to where it ended up.
And it sent, but we've seen that happen before. I think we've seen that happen with regards against us in the past, when we've had that happen and they've scored a goal and the keeper's been going the other way.
Yeah, but like you say, you make your own luck. Their goal came about, the second goal, through making their own luck as well, to a degree, because he's obviously hit the ball very hard, but it's probably going straight down Sarr's throat, and it's taken a deflection and he's got no chance. But if you don't shoot or don't put lots of crosses in the box, things like that won't ever happen. And also the way that we won the free kick as well, a real positive run by Traore right at the heart of their defence in the 94th minute. We were still going. We were really relentless in the pursuit for that last goal.
And it wasn't exactly. How did it go where you were watching? Whereabouts in the stadium were you?
I was in the away end, but I was quite near the back of the upper tier. So it's kind of good sometimes to be that high, because you can see everything unfold below you. And it was really nice as well just to see when the third goal went in, and at the end of the match, the players and the staff, it seemed to mean so much to them. And I think that's so encouraging from a fan's point of view to see how much it matters, to the players. You don't have to be a lad that's grown up in the Black Country and played for Wolves to appreciate what it means to win in a fixture like that. There's obviously a real togetherness amongst the staff and the manager and the players, and they've got to rightly receive a fair bit of credit for that.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll tell you something as well. If you win a game like that, it can transform your season, can't it?
It can. And one thing I've reflected on the way home, one of the best things for me is that's 4 wins out of 5 in the Premier League now. That's really good form. But I think the last time we played well in the majority of a match was probably Man United at home. What do you think about that?
I know you're probably absolutely right, and we haven't seen
actually Watford to an extent, but
yeah.
See what I'm saying? It's 4 wins out of 5, and we haven't really played that well lately.
And do you know how many points behind Man United we are now?
I know we're 3 behind the Champions League.
With their Ronaldations or whatever it is. 2 points.
Yeah,
we're 2 points behind United. I think we're 3 points off Champions League place. I know there's people to play, and there's 3 teams below us that could go above us if they win. But we're 8th. And 5 games ago, we haven't got any points. We haven't drawn a game yet this season. We've either won or lost, and we're on exactly the 0 goal difference as well.
Yeah, it's been a great few weeks. I know that you could say in some ways the fixture list has been slightly kinder, and I know that coming up in December looks pretty nasty, but who'd bet against us to take some points off some of the bigger teams as well, because we've played well against Man United and Tottenham already, so maybe we shouldn't be worried about that.
Oh, exactly, mate. Exactly. I mean, I'm really, really buzzing. I think like all the Wolves fans, I mean, the scenes at the end, the scenes when the Neves goal in, I mean, if you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, go on my channel at the end of this or watch it. I'll put the Neves goal up on its own. Now, obviously I do my match vlog, but there's this really special goal. Okay, and the scenes at the end, it just had to go up. And you just had to see what it meant to the players, the fans, to turn that round. And the Villa, I mean, you have to feel a little bit for the Villa fans, I suppose. No, you don't, do you? No, you don't. But
they probably didn't.
They were literally punch drunk at the end. What happened to them? They kind of collapsed. They fell apart.
Which a lot of the credit has probably got to go to us for making that happen. And to be honest, for the other 75 minutes, were they that good anyway to be 2-0 up? Not really. I know we weren't great, but they weren't either.
No.
So
they probably were. They probably were deserving of it on the balance of play. Especially in the first half, because I thought we had a very, very sticky period, which we came through actually.
Yeah.
For 30 minutes, and I thought we were starting to get a grip of the game towards the end of the half, because it wasn't sticking up front. And then that early goal in the second half kind of their fans, that's when their sort of fans came alive. They were a bit quiet up until that point, apart from obviously a few of the singers. And the atmosphere, I thought, only really came alight in the last 20 minutes as a proper derby atmosphere. It was very much bubbling along as very nicey in some ways. It wasn't that intense, ferocious derby atmosphere. But when we got that, when obviously they scored the second, and they got behind the team, they started to believe, and as you said, they were singing the Mind the Gap song and taunting us, which fair play. You were 2-0 up. And I saw a tweet from some chappie with a blue tick on Twitter saying the roar of, Fortress Villa Park. Well, I thought that tweet didn't age very well. And then when we scored, the noise levels, the belief in the way we suddenly started playing, because if we see the team pushing forward, the fans react to that. and it was just raucous at the end. Proper derby atmosphere. It's sort of like it was a proper derby for the last 20 minutes. I thought.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you mentioned about the first half, that sticky period. Where I was sat a bit higher up, it was so obvious what they were doing because they'd got Ings and Watkins up against our 3 centre backs.
Yeah,
and they were playing Buendia in the hole, and I don't know why, but he was free so often, and all they were doing is just feeding it through to him, and I think that's how that Danny Ings chance came about.
Yeah,
they just didn't get to grips with him, and for me, it was quite simple that they just needed to say to Neves, "You need to sit in and stop him affecting the game," because he was. So I was surprised that wasn't dealt with quicker from the manager's point of view.
Yeah.
But one question I've got to you, and be interested to see what other people think. For me, I don't think Semedo's offering much.
He was getting a little bit of stick today from some of the fans around us for giving the ball away, and his
confidence seems shot at the moment. And I think the manager's got a decision to make in the next game. I think he could play Hoover there, who did all right at Leicester. Perhaps he deserves a chance. Or I think he could be really brave and say, Traore, we want you to be... I know he's not a right wing back as such, but I think, he could cause damage from deep coming forward. So I'd be interested to see what happens with that over the next few weeks.
It would. Now, I can get what you're saying about Semedo, because I think his confidence has got a little bit. And he did show glimmers when he was trying to take the ball, but he often cut back after taking that run and then knocked the ball back. And Marcel's a bit guilty of that on the other side. He's confident. Both the wing backs have probably lost a little bit of confidence. Maybe play it a little bit safe 2 times. But we know Marcel, since he gave that penalty away, he's sort of not... I mean, Johnny Otto, we kind of miss him, I think, at times. Hopefully he'll be back. And I can see there's an argument for Hoover. He's got talent. He's obviously was well thought of at Liverpool. He's still a young lad. And maybe, but not Traore. I've seen Traore personally play wing back, and you can do something from deep. Definitely. We saw that when he gets the ball and he runs with it. I like to see him going more through the middle, because that's where the goal is attend. But Traore playing as a wing back defensively, no. He tries to do the same thing as he does in the middle of the park and the top end of the park, i.e. dribble his way out of defensive situations. And if he loses the ball in those situations, it causes us, we've seen us lose goals. So I ain't one for what Nuno did for playing Traore as a wing back. Personally, I like to see him up in the top third. I know he gets a bit of criticism sometimes for not tracking back, but if the manager's saying to him, "Look, we want you to win the ball, try and win the ball back, but save your energy for the attacking half," don't get sucked into doing too much, running all the way back, then maybe that's why sometimes he can come across as a little bit lazy. He's just still got to find that finish. As I say, if he'd have scored that goal today, it would have been a contender for goal of the season. He went past something like 5 or 6 Villa players and got the shot away.
Looks even better on the replay as well, his run. But yeah, I mean, I've been really patient with Semedo. I'm not going to be one of these people that's like shouting and getting on his back at the match, because that's not going to help. I thought he might need time to adjust to the new league and the pace, but I'm struggling to see what he brings. He doesn't bring assists, doesn't bring goals. I don't think he's particularly strong defensively.
Who you on about now, Semedo?
Yeah. I'm just I just wonder if in the manager's head, how close is he to thinking, I'm going to give Hoover a run?
Well, it probably is. I think the other thing, I mean, Semedo was a late call-up. I mean, I always think it's difficult to judge after the international break because they haven't had a proper training session. I know we can say the same for Villa. I don't think he'll change anything for next week. I think he'll stick with it because he's announced he's given them an extra day off. They're going to resume training on Tuesday. And I think obviously they'll have a proper full week to prepare for Leeds. And I think if he has another performance like he did today, then potentially I think that might be the time to look at potentially changing him. But I don't know. I mean, what do you think, guys, in the chat? Would you drop Semedo for Hoover? Be interesting to see if you agree with Paul's point on that. And I'm sure the other guests will have an opinion. Paul, to finish off, give us your performance rating and man of the match. If you want to split it into 80 minutes and the last 15, feel free.
I'll call it a 7 overall. I'll merge the two together and say overall it was a 7 because that last 15 minutes, they've given us memories that will last a lifetime. But the stuff that came before that was quite forgettable, really.
Yeah.
I agree with what Kevin said. I think as the match went on, Neves' influence really started to grow. His pass to Podence for the Sace goal is a brilliant pass. And I think without him today, we probably wouldn't have got back into the game. So I'll give him my man of the match. I think he grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck in the last 20 minutes or so.
Absolutely, mate. And mate, it was great to see you and have a chat with you before the game, and also meet your dad. It sounds as though your dad's getting all his mates to listen to the podcast and watching you on YouTube.
Spreading the word, Dave.
I bet your dad was happy, right?
We're all spreading the word, and I think I speak on behalf of everyone to say, really well done on being a finalist in the awards that you went to this week. It was really deserved for you to get that far, and really enjoying listening to the show.
I appreciate that, Paul, mate. You're a top man. Right, well, I'm going to move on to the next one. Paul, obviously, thanks again for coming on the show. I appreciate you giving up your time. It's been a crazy day, and obviously I'll do it this time because we make sure that we finish. So if we are first on Match of the Day, which would be nice, but who knows, we all can get off to see that. See you soon, buddy. Hopefully after Leeds.
I might see you at Leeds, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm there, man. So hopefully see you before the game as well. Nice one. Cheers, Paul.
Yeah, cheers, everyone. Night.
Cheers. So that's Paul. We've still got to come on the show. Scott, Sam, Craig, Jess making her debut, which I'm really looking forward to, getting a female fan's point of view as well. And we've got Jack, who I saw before the game as well. And he will vouch for me what I said about the vision that I had about the added time winner. But next we're going to have another friend of the show. Hasn't been on for a while, and I'm sure he'll explain why. But it's Scott. Hello, Scott.
All right, man. How you doing?
Mate, I'm good. Were you there today, or did you watch it on a naughty stream, or listen to it on the radio, or what?
Naughty stream. It's been a bit of a hectic couple of weeks since I ain't been on the show with personal stuff and obviously Brushbury as well. So, yeah, but I'm back. I got a chance to actually sit down and actually enjoy the game today. And I wish I was there because the lads in the Brushbury chat were putting all the videos up of them in the stands and stuff. It looked awesome to be a part of, and I wish I was there.
It was insane, mate. There's a lot of games. I mean, this is why fans are so important to football. The Villa fans played their part. I mean, it was brilliant. The weather was nice. It's a West Midlands derby. I know the Villa fans, their main derby is sort of Birmingham, and with us, it's kind of West Brom. But the last few years, there has been that little bit of rivalry between Villa and Wolves, obviously in the Championship and going up. And to be part of that today, and the way the game finished, and the way the fans were when we equalised, when the first goal was in, it was like great. When we equalised, it was unbelievable. When Neves scored the winner, it was, as you know, they shouldn't have, but you can understand some people ran on the pitch to celebrate. And then at full time, and it was about 10, 15 minutes still going after full time, I was soaking it all in. It was just a pleasure to be part of that. Absolutely fantastic. The joy and what it means to everyone to win that game. And it's only the third time, Scott, in Premier League history that a team has been trailing into the 81st minute 2-0 and have come back and won the game 3-2. Wigan did it once. I think it was Reading another time, and now Wolves. Only happened in the Premier League era 3 times, and I was there to witness that today.
Well, for me, watching it on the TV, obviously it ain't the same as being in the stadium. But I thought that the first half wasn't anything to write home about, but I thought we were all right. I thought Villa were doing having a couple of chances on us as well, but I thought it was quite an even game. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't, out there. But the second half turned it upside down on his head. Like, I was never expecting it in a million years to go that direction. And I'm just glad we come out on top.
Mate, it was absolutely brilliant to come out on top. It really was, man. So, you got it on your naughty stream, and if you do like to get things on naughty streams, my partner Spider VPN, we've got a link below, who support the channel. They provide these things so that you can watch these things, as well. So, absolutely amazing. Scott, you wasn't holding one of your babies when we scored that third one, were you?
No, but I scared the living daylights out of one when I jumped up for the equaliser. Because, I agree. Like, when Say scored, it was good that we got a goal, but I thought it was just a consolation. I didn't think that we were going to come out winning. But then when Cody got that second one, I thought, okay, let's hope momentum keeps going now and we actually, try and force 3 points out of this. But I could see it again. I was thinking that it was going to end 1-1. But when Neves lined up for that free kick, I just thought, how mad and insane would it be if we have like a Neves free kick special? And it was probably one of the worst free kicks ever, and we still scored. So...
I know, man. I was saying it. Watch my I put it on my YouTube channel, the Neves goal, and I was going like, "Come on, worldie or whatever." And it wasn't a worldie, but and it kind of like lost it for a second, and the ball went in, and we're just like slow motion as the ball bounced into the net, and then we're all just going absolute bedlam. And it's just a magical experience. Scott, give us your performance rating and your man of the match.
Well, my man of the match, I'm going to give to Podence, just because for me, I reckon he changed the game. When he came on, he made us more attacking. He created a lot. It's like Hee-Chan's been on top of the world for Wolves since he joined. Well, I think this was probably one of his more quieter games.
Yeah.
But when Podence came,
a formation that didn't suit him, to be fair.
Yeah. Plus, no Jimenez in the starting lineup alongside him.
They have been linking up well.
So for me, it felt like everything was put on Traore. Traore is the one that was going to get the goals. Traore is the one that we need to feed. That's what it felt like. And as much as Traore did have chances, he did create a lot of stuff. I thought it was a lot to put on his shoulders. But then when Silva and Podence joined the game, Podence created a lot more in a short period of time, which led to stuff as well.
He
then
opened up space. He turned inside and out, and the space seemed to open up. The runners seemed to work for him as well, and they didn't seem to be able to get a grip of him. He's got such a low centre of gravity as well, Daniel Podence, and we've seen him do that in a few games. When he played the full match, I think it was away at Southampton. I can't remember. I think it was at Southampton. He didn't quite have a very good game then. He earned his place in the starting lineup and then didn't really perform in that game. But he came on today and made a real impact.
Well, you look at Silva as well. I think Silva had a good game when he came on. He didn't make as much of an impact as Podence did, but he still was, forcing us to attack, still moving us forward. But I was just wondering why Jimenez didn't start. And then they said on the commentary that it's due down to fitness because of him coming back from the international break. So I thought I get that, but then why didn't he come on when Silva came on? So I presumed that he was just literally that, not ready to come back at all. But then I heard through listening to you guys that apparently he was pacing up and down, begging to come on. So
he was like giving a large, I want to come on and I want to come on. He was trying to protect him. Thanks to LA Wolf fan for that. Appreciate it. He was trying to protect him, and you can understand why. But he left him till very, very late. And if he'd have popped up and got the winner as well, can you imagine that?
Well, you think about it. If you're a Villa fan and at the beginning of that game you're seeing Wolves line up without Jimenez, you're rubbing your hands, thinking, "Okay, they've made a mistake here." But then we go the whole game. Yeah, okay, we didn't play our best, but we're literally on the comeback, and then it's 2-2, and I think Jimenez came on at that 2-2 point.
You did,
And
yeah.
And you're thinking, if you're a Villa fan, you're thinking, okay, I don't like this. They literally got 2 goals. Jimenez is now coming on. I bet they were all thinking Jimenez is going to score a winner. But lo and behold, it was
and I think
it was
maybe the threat to that. So what's your performance rating then?
To begin with, I would agree with Kevin. I reckon it was a 5, but obviously 10 because we won. The scenes, the fact that this is probably the closest we'll ever get to a local derby. It just everything screams 10 because of us getting the win. But if it had stayed the way we were playing and the way it was going, yeah, it would have definitely been a 5. Because I was getting annoyed, like watching on TV, some of the loose passing done by everybody, and everybody was guilty of it. And he changed the reason why they got their second goal, because again it was a loose pass. Like the passing was shocking for long periods of that game, and I honestly couldn't see us getting anything out of it. But like literally, I'm jumping up and down in my house when it went the way we wanted it to go.
Absolutely. Well, Scott, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on again. I haven't let you wait to the end today, but thank you very much. Got to get through because we've got a lot of people waiting to get on. I'm sure you'll stay back in the green room watching as long as you normally do. Hopefully catch up with you soon, mate.
Righto. All the best.
Thank you. And just a little thing for Charlie Richardson, mate. We have moderators on this channel. If anyone says anything untoward, you will get blocked and you will get timed out. So don't moan if you're doing anything like that, because we don't put up with any sort of nasty comments or abuse. Have your opinion, but make sure it's put across in the right way. Next on, we've got Sam, who's the Wolves 1877 Trust Chairman, who I happened to run into in Tesco today before the game. And Sam, you'll vouch for me what I said about that last minute goal.
You certainly did. And it was funny. My son said it'd be a last-minute winner as well. I think you were both having the same conversation. He got it as being 2-1 in the last minute. It was going to be a 1-1 draw. And I think you were saying as well we were going to see a bit of a goal fest. So, yeah, we certainly did.
Absolutely fantastic. And where were you sitting in the stadium in the end, mate? I don't think you were that far from me, were you? Because you come over at half time.
I wasn't right. I couldn't get any closer to the pitch, let's put it that way. I was in the front row.
Oh, wow. You'll be on match of the day then?
Yeah, and I was 1 seat away from the Villa fans to the left of me.
Oh, man. What were their faces like when that third went in?
What Villa fans? There weren't any in there. They're all gone.
They're gone?
Yeah. It was like a library. It really was. The silence from the side of us. There were gaping holes in their support at that 81st minute. They started to go out. And by the time we saw Cody get the boot into the net, that was... I think even the Holt end had got gaps in it. I thought, yeah, that just says it all. Their fans are not impressed today.
Absolutely. Oh, well, that second goal, was that the one which the Kilman hit the bar?
Yeah, Kilman hit the
and
bar.
I thought, the chance has gone. And then they kept it alive into a second and a third phase. And then I think Villa were all over the place at that point defensively. And we've managed to recycle it. And when Cody scored, I mean... it was a bit of a scramble. Let's face it, he bobbled over the line, but he got it in the back of the net, and then he come over to the fans. I mean, that was magic for him to score that. That feeling was amazing for him.
It's great. What got me, as you said, I wouldn't say it was a game of two halves at all. I'd say it was a game of 80-15, as you've said.
Yeah.
And I said to you at half time, I wasn't happy with the way Traore was playing. Yes, he'd had one decent run in
I was sticking up for him, though.
You were sticking up for him. I hold my hands up, everybody on the channel. I'm not a Traore fan. I'm sorry. The guy is another Bakary Sacco to me. You get 10 minutes of excellence and 80 minutes of nothing at all. And I think we had about 15 minutes of excellence out of him today. And as Scott said, what was annoying me the most was the mispassing, the back passing that wasn't going to players. We just didn't seem to be getting on the ball and holding the ball. We were losing it. And I don't like the style of play Bruno's got at the moment. Everything has to go back past the halfway line to rebuild up. I don't understand not using the wings as much. We're not going down those sides. Everything just seems to have to rebuild up every time. So I don't know whether...
Do you think, though, Sam, it was kind of like... Because he hadn't had most of the players back because he wasn't going to risk Jimenez. That he tried this with Wang and Traore up front.
Yeah.
And they're very, very similar in a lot of ways. I think the main difference is Traore is probably a better dribbler, but Wang probably is a better finisher. And they were playing quite wide apart, almost like they were playing in that three at either side. When you need the strikers, if you're playing a two, you need them a lot closer
together.
And Raul and maybe Wang would have probably worked, but we was like always missing that holding player, and for a long period of time the ball kept coming back because it didn't stick, and maybe he was forced into that position this time.
I think he was. I think Jimenez normally would have started and is supplying a lot of the balls into Wang when he's playing, and that's where our goals are going to come from going forward. But we always seem to have a problem after an international break, and we have just got over that today. We've persevered, we've stuck at it, we've kept niggling at them. The football wasn't the best we've seen this season by any means, but they stuck at it, and give them the due. Just to see Sace sliding in to hit the ball in the back of the net was superb. Anybody else wouldn't have got that, I don't think. He just got the mindset that I'm going in on my arse, basically, with my feet up and I'm hitting it, and it happened. And then Cody getting himself up, that was superb. I've just got a question for you.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I'm right. How many years have we gone without winning at Villa Park in the league, in the top league part of the league?
I'll tell you what. There's, if Carl's watching, who's the
I know exactly. Yeah, I know exactly.
Let's see if they get it in the comments. Well, the question for you in the comments here is how many years has it been since Wolves last won in the top flight, I'm saying, against Villa at Villa Park. Let's give them 30 seconds before you give us the answer.
Yeah.
Before we get on to that, I want to hear your performance rating and your man of the match, mate.
Well, I've got two sides to this. I'd say first half, I'd give him a 3 out of 10. I'm sorry, I felt it was awful. And at that point, Connor Cody and as Sarah should say, we're getting man of the match because Sarah was still keeping us in the game, really. But when we took it through to the last 10 minutes, I'll give him 9 out of 10 for perseverance, and I'll give him 11 out of 10 for the final whistle.
Yeah.
But Cody, in my mind, steered us to that win with his shouting. He's telling them where to get in position. So I'd give him man of the match, which is unusual for me. I'd have normally given it to, I'd have probably given it to Nevis for that final shot, but Cody today.
And we're being told here, I'm getting some things, 2011 Jarvis winner. Carl White has 2000 Jarvis 1-0, unbeaten 4 games at Villa Park. Repossessed 2011. Joe said, did Jarvis get the winner under McCarthy in 2010? What is the correct answer?
It is 2011 in the Premier League. However, when it was the previous league, it's 41 years. So we had a massive break in it. It was 10th of March, 1980, and that's when it was the old Division 1. And the Premier League, it was Jarvis.
And Sean Dendoncker scored the winner a couple of years ago. We're talking about the top flight, I think.
Yeah, we are. Not when we're in the Championship and not the Cup.
Championship.
Yeah.
Fantastic, mate. And just before we go, how is the membership going along now with the trust?
We're rattling along very well. What I'll say to everybody on the channel tonight is we need more diversity in the trust members. At the moment, it's predominantly men. I'd love to see some more ladies join, and I'd love to see some more family units join. We're currently, I think we're around 150 adult members, and we've got some children as well that are in the family ones. So it's bubbling along nicely. I think it's about 169, 170 altogether with the youngsters. The aim is to get that over the 200 mark by the end of the month. But ultimately, we'd like to have, as we get in there at the moment, we'd like to have the biggest trust support, apart from the Man Uniteds and the Liverpools that have international supporters on their trust. We'd like to have the biggest fan base supporting the trust that we can.
There's a question for the Reaper here. What's the minimum age for an individual to join the trust?
There is no minimum age, but as an adult paid up member, you're over 16. As a family member, it can be any age.
Okay, you have to have parental permission.
Yeah, you have to have because unfortunately we do have a couple of sponsors that sponsor our leaflets that are casinos. I do have to say that we do have to have an adult giving permission for a junior to join, so it's best to do a family membership.
Absolutely, mate. And if people want to find out more about it, is there a website?
There is a website, www.wolves1877trust.com. And we're also .co.uk, and we're also on Facebook, which is Wolves 1877 Supporters Trust.
And they're able to vote on different things.
They are, yes.
The AGM, so that's fantastic.
I'll give you an example at the moment. We're in talks at the moment with the Wolves about further developing the safe standing at Molineux.
Yeah.
There are talks, obviously, because we've now got it in. We can be one of the first ones in there to use that in the South Bank and the Quadrant. But we're in talks to them about whether they're planning on moving that to any other areas of the stadium.
There you are. Well, the Reaper says, nice one. We'll get me and the young ones signed up. So there you go. To get to the 200 one. LA Wolf fan said, that sounds awesome. And Richard, just to remind you, we're on about, I think they're on about the beat them away 2 seasons ago. Sam, I don't think that's correct, is it, in the top flight?
No, we haven't done this in the top flight. It might have been in a cup game or something, but 2011 was the Matt Jarvis winner.
Fantastic. Absolutely. Sam, great to bump into you today. And nice to meet your young lad as well. Hope he enjoyed the day. And no doubt we'll see you again. And anytime you want to come on and have a chat after the game,
always.
Extra time's always here for you, mate.
That's it. Well, as I say, you're all welcome to come to the Trust meetings. The next one will hopefully be on a Zoom, so anybody who's a member can join. And I'm also running a stream now for the Trust meetings when we meet at the Emerald Club in Wolverhampton.
Absolutely. Thanks ever so much, Sam.
Pleasure, everybody. Great day. Up the Wolves.
Up the Wolves, mate. Always Wolves. Get it right. Hey. Catch you later, Sam.
Catch you later. Football's always the winner.
That's absolutely. Enjoy match of the day as well.
We will.
So that's great. So next up, we're going to have Craig, followed by Jess, then Paul, and then Jack to finish up. So, Craig. Look at that! Look at that big smile on your face.
I'll not stop giggling, and I've wrote a song for you, Dave.
Go! Oh, you've wrote a song.
I have. Just
are you getting the tuba out, or
no? This is just me gonna sing to you, and you can join in the chorus because the words are really easy. Because it's just ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Okay, that's the chorus. Okay. Are you ready for this? You ready for this, guys?
Yeah, we'll give it go. This is live entertainment, folks.
Absolutely. I saw a laughing Wolfie today at Villa Park. At 2-0 down, it's over. They're tearing us apart. But Sayus next one back for us, and Cody made it 2. Then Ruben sticks a winner in to stick the Boyle crew. Oh dear, mate. And that's what it feels like, doesn't it?
That was pretty damn good. I tell you what, this is live TV, live YouTube.
Oh,
mate,
man.
That was really good. Do you know you're a poet if you don't know it?
Oh, you know, absolutely.
I like that, mate. It's what you do in your spare time. You could be the next, I mean, Rodgers and Ammenstein has got nothing on you, mate.
So much wrong today, but everything right. We played Leicester, Man United, Spurs. We absolutely played them off the park. How many points we get? None.
Yeah.
Today, first half, you could argue 45-55, and maybe in Villa's favour. And the second half, for that first 35 minutes, we were just nowhere near it, were we, Dave?
No.
And at 2-0, I was just ready to get the razor blades out and slip me like at throat. But what a comeback! And the character of these guys and the fans were absolutely magnificent again. You guys were unbelievable. But I have to say to you, Dave, you need to get your bleep machine out.
I know. Apologies. I am apologising because I am one. I don't swear. I try not to, but it was the 95th minute winner, and I might have let the odd expletive go. So I do apologise for that.
I didn't mind that.
Sometimes I am only human, and you have to say these things to express how unbelievable that beeping was.
That's fantastic, Dave.
I know. I got a bit carried away for me. That's not normally me, but Dave, there you go. What can I say?
It was passion, and it was absolutely magnificent. But also, that was payback for the battering of the 92 minutes that we gave Villa at the Golden Palace, and they get that they get that 93rd minute penalty. And I didn't hear Dean Smith at that point saying, well, today was a smash and grab. And today, we scored 3 goals and they scored 2. That makes us the winners. End of story. Game over, Dean. Go and sulk. See you, mate. We really miss Raul today.
We did.
And we don't miss him. We do. But Raul plays in both the number 9 and the number 10 positions, Dave. And he links up Martino, Neves, and the front players, and we really miss that player just outside of the 18-yard box. Raul comes off that line and he fills that space and he links the play, and we miss that today. I think that Traore, Semedo, Martial, they look fantastic from our 18-yard box to the opposition's 18-yard box, but they don't do anything behind those lines. There's absolutely no end sort of product at all, which is a shame because they all look great but they've got no end product at all. I've also, Lodge was my man of the match, Dave.
Bruno Lodge?
Yeah, having the courage when we're 2-0 down to make that many substitutions of forward players at a risk of losing 4-5-0 when you're like 2-0 down and you're being battered.
The only criticism I would have, and I think a few fans might say this, and we were talking about it in the stands, that he didn't make the changes sooner.
I agree. But
when we were 1-0 down, when we were 2-0, I thought, is this too late now? Turned out it wasn't, and we ended up with the finish. But I really wanted him to try to change it from about the 65th minute before Villa's second one went in.
But the last part of the match, Dave,
was amazing.
Changes.
What did you think of Fabio's contribution?
He's still young, Dave, and this league's unforgiving, and I think that he's taking time to adjust to the league. I think in a year's time, he's going to be a really great player, but he's got so much to learn. It's a really tough league, Dave.
It is. It's unforgiving, and
yeah, it is.
Had we have lost that today, it would have been hard to take. And the Villa, things like that can change a season, both for Villa and for Wolves. Bennett says there's 162. We just had up to 200 actually watching. So yeah, if you would smash a like on the video, that would be really appreciated. Let YouTube know you like the content. It only takes a second. If you're watching it back or you're listening to it on the podcast, please leave us a 5-star rating. Craig, give us your you've given us Bruno Lage as your man of the match. What about your performance rating?
6.5 overall, about 3.5 for the first
80 minutes.
80 minutes, and a 10 out of 10 for the last 15. I mean, coming back from 2-0 down in front of them, and they hate losing, don't they, Dave? Vile fans. They
do.
They're so.
My favourite Villa chant is always the one that goes, Villa, Villa, Villa. I love that when they do that. It's just so funny, it just makes me laugh. But and they were giving us the Mind the Gap as well, which was fair enough. And then I think at full
80
time,
minutes now, Dave. That's all.
It was being sang back.
I was singing for 80 minutes.
Their
That's all.
song, that Mind the Gap song. I mean, there ain't much of a gap like there used to be, but it does wind them up a little bit. To be fair, when you sing that, yeah, absolutely brilliant, mate. I always appreciate you coming on,
Dave.
And it's great to see such a beaming smile. And do you just want to go out on, mate, just to finish off on? Can you give us that song again?
Yeah, with the greatest pleasure. I composed it while I was.
Hold on. But whilst you do it, I'm going to bring Jess, Jack, and Paul on, who are going to come on in a minute.
Okay.
And then they can do the ha with us at the end.
Okay.
So I'm going to bring them on just very quickly. Right, you guys.
Hiya, Jack. Hiya, Paul.
Hold on. Change the background. I think you're going to join in the ha. There we got Molyneux as well. And then they'll come up. Are you ready, guys? Thumbs up.
Yeah. Are you ready for
right,
this?
Okay, here we go. Away, and then we'll do the ha bit
here
at
we
the
go
end.
then.
This is
I saw a laughing Wolfie today at Villa Park. At 2-0 down, it's over. They're tearing us apart. But Soy's net one back for us, and Cody made it 2. Then Ruben sticks the winner in to zinc the Vile crew. Oh!
That's made my day. That has absolutely.
That's class.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Craig, I'm going to drop you, Paul, and Jack off. Jess, you're going to stay on with me, all right? And then Jess can make a day. Craig, that was absolutely brilliant.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, mate.
Cheers, boys.
Every time you come on now, you've got to do one of them. Here we go. Right, that's brilliant from Craig. We're going to just drop Paul and Jack off, and great to be welcomed by a young lady. Jess, how are you today? Look, by the way, Jess, I'm loving the Wolves logo wallpaper you got going on there.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm good, thank you. And
I invited Jess on. She follows us on Instagram, and she's mad into your football. You're quite a good little footballer yourself. Your aspiration is to one day play for the Wolves women's team. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely.
And who's your favourite player in the ladies' team and the men's team, Jess?
For the women's, probably Lowry Walker.
Yeah.
For the men's, either. Well, when I was mascot, I walked out with Sace and Jimenez, so probably one of those two.
Absolutely fantastic. Now, I saw you post on your Instagram a reaction of you and your dad jumping around off the sofa, celebrating. I am guessing that was to the 95th minute winner. Am I right?
Yeah.
Oh, man. And you obviously managed to get a stream on the telly.
Yeah.
And to just talk us through your emotions through the game today, Jess.
Well, I think first half, neither team were really at the races. I think Villa probably had a couple of chances, so did we. I thought Wang wasn't particularly very good. Obviously, I don't know if that was because Jimenez wasn't there. You know, that their link up against Newcastle was unbelievable. But I think, neither team were really particularly at their best first half. But yeah, obviously when we scored, it kind of, they just panicked, and I think they just crumbled towards the end. And
I think you're absolutely right. And did you see it coming? There's a lot of people saying welcome to you. Luke Donk wants that wallpaper in his life. Merv says hi. Jason says hi to you. Carl says hi. Wolves from LA says, and Sean Walls is loving your wallpaper. Barry said, best for the future. So you've got quite a lot of people saying hello to you here. And I mean, it was just a remarkable last 15 minutes, wasn't it? Could you believe it?
Yeah,
Can you actually believe what happened?
Not particularly. I think we were 2-0 down, and I probably would have put money on Villa getting the next goal, and then obviously we scored, and then we scored again, and then when Neves got the free kick, my dad said to me, "Do you think it'll be a Neves masterclass?" And I was a bit like, "Oh, I'm not sure." And then obviously it went in, and it was just completely crazy, and I don't think I expected it really. Obviously we were 2-0 down, and I probably wouldn't have predicted it to go that way. But yeah, I think, as I said before, when we scored that goal, Villa just crumbled.
They did. It was kind of like the momentum shifted and the belief in our players, the energy that we found. Do you think the introduction of Daniel Podence was the key thing?
Absolutely. I think he was outstanding today. I think he was one of the best players on the pitch for us.
He did.
I also think.
Go on, Jess.
Yeah, and I also think just after the game, seeing all the photographs and seeing the emotion in the players, I think that just shows the passion and how obviously we were 2-0 down, and I think you could just tell that how amazing they thought it was, and I think that just really, for me, that's amazing to see. They're as happy as we are in terms of getting the 3 points and having an amazing comeback. But yeah, I agree with you. I do think Podence was definitely one of the best players on the pitch today, and maybe if he wasn't on there, I don't think we probably would have come back as well as we did.
He has made an impact when he's come on as substitute, and I say he's said before, he's got such a low centre of gravity, and I was watching the way he was twisting and turning. It was almost like they couldn't keep an eye on where he was going, and they were that focused on him. The spaces started to open up, and it was just like sheer panic at the back for Villa in those last 10, 15 minutes after we got the first, and then Cody scrambled the ball. I mean, I was so pleased for Cody scoring that goal.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you were probably off your seat for that one as well. Am I right?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. So, Jess, before we get on to your man of the match and your performance rating, just tell everyone a little bit more about you, your football, what position, what team you play, and that type of thing.
So I'm 14 years old and I play for Great Worley. And yeah, as you said before, I'm quite involved in the women's team. I'm a part of the Wolverhampton podcast, and I've been a Wolves fan all my life. I think I started going to the games. I think I got a season ticket when I was about 6 and started playing football over lockdown. But yeah, football's my life, and to get the 3 points today and to experience the things I have done this past couple of years with the men's and the women's team has been unbelievable, and I'm so grateful to have experienced everything that I have done.
I tell you what, we do talk about the women's team are on an incredible rise. I think they've won 35 out the last 40 games or 45 out the last 50, something crazy like that. And obviously undefeated this year. The only thing that surprises me in the women's game, and it was told to me the other day, they could run away, win their league this year, and then they've still got to play a playoff to get promoted and put in a business plan. I think that's a little bit harsh. Where on them for that, because there should be natural promotion and relegation, but there doesn't seem to be in the women's game at the moment, does there?
No, and I think we discussed this exact point on one of the first episodes of the Wolverhampton podcast, and we all agreed. I think it is a bit disappointing. There's obviously in the women's football, it's like a pyramid, and there's multiple leagues from League 3 down, and obviously, if the top league in the Northern League, which is what we're in, would have to play the team that finished top in the Southern League, and I think the two teams that are top at the minute are Ipswich and Southampton, and they're both in the phases of going professional. And I think it's disappointing for both teams, whoever wins and loses that playoff sort of match, because I think both teams arguably deserve it.
Well, I think personally, I think the winners of both divisions should automatically go up, and there should be 2 relegations.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't seem we all went nuts over the Super League, and no relegation, and there should be a natural pyramid for the women's game. And when I was told this, I couldn't actually believe it. Surely, if you win your league, that's still only one place. Whereas in every other league, it's like 2 or 3 that goes up. I just think that's a bit crazy. I don't know why that is. I don't know why they've put that in place. It just seems unfair, especially for a team that could have a very, very good season and then not go up because, i.e., they lose a playoff game against someone else that's won a league that, as you say, is in the process of going fully time professional, and then they've got to put in a business plan to go. Just madness to me. But, you know, you probably know a lot more about that for me. In terms of, did you give your man of the match, Pedence, did you say?
Yeah, I would probably give it Pedence. I think when he came on, he changed the game for Wolves.
Stu Kelsall says, great to see your passion for the Wolves. Jess, what position do you play, Jess, when you play?
Attacking midfielder normally.
Right. So you score a few goals then, do you?
Hopefully, yeah, this season.
And a few assists. So how is your Great Whirly Girls team doing so far, early season?
Yeah, well, at the minute we're second in the league. We've got a game in hand. We've had 2 games called off this week and last week. So I think if we win our next couple of games, we'll be joint on goal difference. So yeah, we're doing really well at the minute. Congratulations.
We'll keep up, Jess. I hope you've enjoyed making your debut on the channel. You speak very, very well, actually, and hopefully you'll come on to the show again. Yeah. From our point of view, it's really good as well because we do have Amy often. You've probably seen Amy, who normally co-hosts, but she's been quite busy with her social life since lockdown. And I think it's very important to have a female, to hear from female fans. So thank you so much for having the confidence to come on and talk to us tonight. No worries. Thank you for having me. You're most welcome, Jess. Speak to you again, mate. Bye. Cheerio, mate. So that's Jess. She talked ever so well. We've just got 2 more callers to get in. And we've got a first-time caller and a new member of the International Fan Reaction. And this is Paul, who's Bahama Wolf. You actually live in the Bahamas, Paul?
I do indeed, Dave. Yeah, Bahama Wolf is my Molyneux Mix username. So those of you on Molyneux Mix, and when I sort of make the odd comment or two, here's the face to the name. So yeah,
absolutely fantastic. And I know you've been messaging because you haven't been able to watch a lot of the games recently, but you have this one. And I know you're sending in an International Fan Reaction for a couple of minutes, aren't you, for that? But Paul, before
yeah, you should have it. I've WhatsApp.
I haven't checked my WhatsApp, so it's probably on there somewhere. Let's just have a look. So, which is great. I'll be looking forward to seeing what you've got as your background. So that for that one. But Paul, so how come you're over in the Bahamas? And I think you knew Sir Jack, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I've been over here over 20 years now. I moved here in 1999. I met my wife here. Sadly, I'm divorced now, but I met her in 1993. And I was traveling to and from the Bahamas sort of over Christmas periods. And sort of in 1998, I thought, you know what? After leaving at Christmas here to come back to England, I thought, you know what? I want to live here. I want to stay in the sun. So we moved out here in 99. I've worked in insurance all my life, and I manage a local brokerage out here. And part of my remit is to manage, we had an office in Freeport, Grand Bahama, whereas you all know Sir Jack lived there for a long time before he died. And in 1998, I think it was, I made a visit to Grand Bahama, to Freeport. And I was driving past the Port Authority building, and I saw the car park with Sir Jack's name on it. And I thought, you know what, let me go and introduce myself as a Wolves fan. So I went in the building and sort of rang his office, and his secretary answered the phone, and I introduced myself. I said, look, I don't know Sir Jack, but I'm a Wolves fan. I'm here in Freeport and I'd like to meet him. So she told me to wait there. So I waited for a couple of minutes, and a minute or so later, she rang me back and told me to come upstairs. So I'm thinking that I'm going to be up there, you know, he's going to say a quick hello to me and whatever. And I got into his office, and he had me in his office for over 3 hours.
You're kidding me.
He did. He was a fantastic guy. I think I showed you the photo of my first visit with him. And actually, one of my big claims to fame is that I was actually privy to the Kevin Doyle transfer.
Oh, right, yeah.
I was in his office at the time, and Jez Moxey rang him and confirmed that the deal was done. So I was there. I was there when the phone call was made.
Mad.
So yeah, and ever since then we were really, really good friends. Whenever I came over to England, he'd ask me when I'm going to England, and just to give him a call, and I would ring him, and he saved tickets for me in the executive box, so I'd come over for the matches, and I had 2 seats there.
Fantastic.
I actually met Rachel Hayo Flint through him as well.
Yeah, Rachel.
Yeah, he'd normally ring Rachel and say, "Look, Paul's coming over, save him 2 tickets or save him 2 seats." So he's a great man. We had a great relationship. I still have a great relationship with his partner and his daughter, Amy. I don't know if Amy's watching, but good, Amy Bloom, Clough. So we've been friends for a very long time. I was invited to his funeral when he died, his private funeral here in Freeport. So I went to his funeral and was with the family after that. So a great man. I mean, he's done a fantastic job for Wolves, and I know all the Wolves fans will agree that man we'll never forget him.
Oh, absolutely. That's why there's a statue to him.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he's a gentleman as well.
Yeah, absolute hero. So, yeah.
That's fantastic, mate. And it's absolutely brilliant to have you making your debut live as well.
Yeah,
so you've watched the game today?
I did. What a game. I mean, the emotions at the end, the delirium at the end was absolutely just out of this world. First off, like everyone said, and I totally agree with you, Dave, a couple of the comments that you made. I think first and foremost, you have to take into account international breaks does no team any favors at all. For our team, I mean, we had 8 or 9 of the first team out on international duty. So how on earth Bruno could sort of convey any kind of team play, team pattern, team strategy, tactics? It just wasn't really possible. And, you know, we had Raul coming in sort of, I think it was maybe early this morning or late yesterday.
Yeah, very late. Obviously, a lot of jet lag, tired.
So, you know, you got this mishmash situation. And
he played 3 times for Mexico as well.
That's right. So, although I do agree, he probably should have come on a bit earlier. I totally understand him not playing, not starting. And, you know, I know a lot of people have said that the lineup was kind of defensive. And I can kind of understand that. But I think also at the same time, you know, he did give Dendoncker license to roam forward. So, you know, I think it was just really keeping it nice and tight. But then, you know, whenever Dendoncker could link up with the forward players, then, you know, that's what he tried to do. Although, again, I agree, Wang had his worst game for us.
He did. But I think there were circumstances behind that. I don't think he just felt comfortable. I think if he'd have had Raul next to him, maybe Raul would have played a lot closer. Traore's always likes to go wide, and they were a bit wide playing. I mean, just paint the scene for me, and for everyone watching and listening at Paul, where you were watching this, who you were watching it with, how big was your TV? You know, I mean, were you outside in the sunshine? I mean, paint the picture.
Well, there's my TV.
Okay.
You have to remember, we're like 5 hours behind you. So when the match starts, it's 10 a.m. in the morning.
Early doors, breakfast for you then.
Right. So it's an full English brekkie for me, and for the most part, I watch it on my own. There used to be a couple of Wolves fans here living in Nassau that I used to meet up at the local cricket club.
Yeah.
You know, if Wolves were on live, I'd go there to watch it with them. But they've moved back to England. I know there's a Wolves fan or two in Freeport, Grand Bahama, which is like the second city. Freeport Wolves, if you're watching, I know you're on Molyneux Mix. We've had a couple of conversations as well. But for the most part, I watch it on my own. So I had at about 11:45 my time, at 5:45, maybe a bit earlier your time. I had my neighbor come and ring my bell because the noise that I made, the jumping up and down, and the noise that I made after Neves's free kick went in. She knocked the door and said, "Are you okay?" I said, "No, I'm more than okay."
I bet you were. Were you running around that living room, mate?
Absolutely. I was jumping up and down.
That's what I like to hear.
Remote down. Absolutely fantastic feeling when that went in. And I joined in with the chorus, mind the gap and all the other chants that were going there. I saw you even lost it a bit, Dave, with your language and all of that stuff.
I know. I apologise for that. I know I am normally so good, but I have to just say that it was a 95th minute winner, and I did get a little bit. I did. What can I say? It's sometimes even to describe that emotion, you just comes out of you, did it? But yeah, so apologies for that. On the you've obviously watched the Neves goal back on my YouTube channel.
Yeah. Brilliant.
The match vlog will be out tomorrow as well. Yeah. I've got all the goals and the build up, and I've got a couple of Villa fans interviewed before the game as well. So that's going to be a good one when it comes out. And obviously the international fan will be out the day after as well, which you'll be on too. So just to finish off with yourself, Paul, let's have your man of the match and your performance rating.
Man of the match was Podence, definitely the game changer, but I think Traore was a close second. I thought he played very well, made some really good runs, 1 or 2 passes. I think everyone made misplaced passes every now and then, and I just think it's down to the fact that they didn't train together as much as they'd like to. But he we got us that free kick at the end, and then the finish was just superb. But for me, my breakout play of the season is Kilman.
Oh yes, unbelievable.
Right. Phenomenal. His forward runs and dribbling is just superb. His defending, all-round defending is superb. He's my breakout player so far this season. It's been excellent.
And what was your performance rating?
Definitely 9. It's a 9 for
9
me.
For the last 15 minutes.
Yeah,
everything
they should have done in the first 75, they did in the last 15. So it's a 9 for me.
Absolutely. And Paul, absolute pleasure speaking to you live. Thank you so much for coming on. Looking forward to featuring you on the International Fan Reaction. You have been saying you'll be doing this one, and hopefully we'll get you on more regular as well. And also the story about Sir Jack was wonderful as well, mate. Thank you.
And congratulations to you as well, Dave, on your nomination. I think you're doing an absolutely fantastic job.
I appreciate
look forward to you and Magic Moss. Say hi to your mum and dad, and belated anniversary greetings to them as well. You're doing a fantastic job, mate. Keep it up.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much, Paul, and you're a real top bloke, and hopefully we'll speak many more times.
Absolutely. Cheers, Dave. All the best.
Cheers. Always Wolves, mate. And that's Paul. What a lovely bloke he was. Great to have him on all the way over in the Bahamas. And my last but not least, who I did meet again at the game today. Hello, mate. How are you?
Hello, mate. How are you?
Yeah. Oh, man. Talk me through your day.
As you could tell by my voice, I can't really speak much. What a game. I couldn't believe that. You can't write it, mate. You cannot write it at all. It was incredible.
Can you? Whereabouts in the ground were you?
I was about 8 or 9 rows behind you. I was right at the back row. In I saw you. I was literally right behind you.
Oh, and I'll tell you something. That last, let's just start from the thing we talked before the game, and I just want, what did I say to you before the game about I've got this feeling?
Exactly. I know what you're going to say. Your exact words were, "It's going to be a 90th minute winner," and I said to you, "Not a chance." And then when I come down at the end and I said, I called it, didn't I? I said to you, you called it bang on, and I couldn't believe it.
I can't believe it myself. I don't know why I had that feeling today, but I just had this feeling. I said to you, imagine if we score an added time win and what it would be like. And it absolutely happened. And I didn't say it on my preview or on my thing. And I said it to a few people. I thought people were going to think I made this up, but I didn't. I did say it. You there still, mate? Jack looks like he's frozen. Oh, he's back. He's back. Thank you for that. That's all right. I was going to say the internet people had kicked you out there because I was saying that. Just talk me through your match day today. Talk me through the game. Talk us all through the game. Your emotions as from kickoff to half time to the end. Just talk us through it, mate. Each goal.
First off, to be honest with you, I've said to you before, I wasn't impressed. Like, it was okay, but like everyone else has said, misplaced passes. Traore had his big chance. It's a great save by the keeper. To be fair, there wasn't a lot going. There was a couple of chances for both teams. When it went to 2-0, I thought, here we go again. I thought it's gonna be over. We're not gonna get anything. Personally, Pedence was by far incredible when he came on. I thought Pedence, everyone said Pedence changed that game 100%. And Neves to have the composure in the 94th minute. To be fair to you, if you've seen the highlights of it, if it's going in, it's going to go in. But Target stands in front of it, so if it hits his hand, it's being given as a pen. If you watch it, if you watch it, Target's got his arm like that. Literally, the ball hits his arm, and it flies in.
Oh right, no, I haven't watched it back other than obviously the one that I caught the video of, and I'm looking forward to match of the day starting shortly. But like. When the second one went in from Villa, did you think that's it? It's done.
Yeah, I was adamant. I looked at my mate who I sat next to, and I said, I can't see where we're going to score from. And then he made the changes, which I know you said was a little bit late, but I think personally, from watching it, Villa dropped deeper and deeper as soon as they took Matty Cash off. So I thought Matty Cash was their best player. Yeah,
he did have a good game down that side for them. And then when we scored the goal, which was a really good goal that Saiz finished off, did you think, oh, that's a consolation? Because when that went in, my immediate thought was, there's at least 10, 15 minutes to go. We can get something out of this. I mean, but a few people have said, oh, that's the consolation.
No.
But I never thought that. I thought, yes.
When Saiz scored, I thought I would have been happy taking a point from that point then. But then when Cody scored, and I was exactly like you. I thought Cody scored, and I thought we've got a chance here. We've got a chance of getting a win here.
I was saying it in the stands to everyone around me. We're going to win this. We're going to win this 3-2, and you just felt like there was this. It was like an onslaught at the end. It was like Villa had sort of like, I think they were shell shocked.
Yeah,
the fans were shell shocked, and
what fans? What with the fans that was left? You mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of them did go quite early, didn't they?
Like one of the fellas said earlier, I can't remember his name. When the first one went in, they started to leave. As soon as the second one went in, everybody in that stadium, Villa point of view, was going, and I was like, "Why are you leaving?"
I know. I couldn't
understand. Do you know what it reminds me of, Dave, to be honest with you? And I said this to my mate who's a Villa fan. It reminds me of when we were at Wembley. That for us is theirs today, I think, personally.
Yeah, when that goal went in, and then it kind of like we got deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and then they got that last minute equal. I know it was a bit like that. But talk me through the emotions that you and your friends and the people around you when that. But I mean, it took the deflection. To me, it kind of almost happened in slow motion. It was like the ball just seemed to freeze and still frame into the net as it just watched it. It was like it's just literally bouncing along like this, and it's like the keeper's dived the other way, and then it goes across the line. And just talk us through that, man.
The emotion, mate, to be honest with you, I was just shell-shocked because I just, my mate next to me, he said, as soon as the free kick was given, he says, this is going in the top corner.
Yeah.
Obviously, one in the top corner, but I said to him, I don't care how it's gone in, we scored, and I couldn't believe, I was just absolutely over the moon and in shock because I just didn't expect it. Were you
bouncing around arms, limbs?
To be fair to you, every bit of everything. I was just in shock. I was really,
hugging strangers.
Yeah, I had to sit down, mate, at the end because I just couldn't believe it.
It was like that, man. It was surreal. It was like I was just at one point just soaking up the atmosphere of the fans and the players, and when the final whistle went and how everyone
the passion from the players at the end of that game was incredible. You could tell it drained them, like with the whole how it played out. And at the end of that game, you could tell how like happy and over the moon they were. But it didn't help with the international break because, like the gentleman said before, 9 players in the first team went away. I was like, you could understand where Bruno's had to somehow build a team around that, and I think he did brilliantly with the decisions. Like obviously, Jimenez, I'd have loved to have seen him start, but.
He'll start next week.
100%.
He's given him a couple of days off now to rest, and enjoy that. I bet all the players will be watching Match of the Day tonight, which is starting in the next couple of minutes. We've got a couple of minutes to finish off the show, and I appreciate you sticking around to the end of the end, mate. So to finish off the show, give me your man of the match and your performance rating.
My man of the match is going to go to Ruben Neves, because I thought first half he was okay, but then second half, like we said, as soon as Villa got deeper and deeper, he was picking the ball up and pinging unbelievable passes. And I was thinking that ball for, is it Pedenza, the first goal, the little chip he put around the back? That ball was unbelievable.
I mean, he has. I think I'll probably give it to Neves, the way he was on a yellow as well. And he's just got such class. I did think Daniel Pedence
would have been my second.
Man of the match for the last 15 minutes. Traore did some good things. I know he frustrates people. Wang didn't have his best game. Fair enough. Raul came on for a little bit of a cameo at the end. You know, Kilman, you know, the defence, you know, did okay. And we did start to get control of the game before half time. But obviously, Danny Ings is, you know, he's always.
You know what you're going to get with Danny Ings. He's such a good striker. He's a well-known striker. People know what he's about. I called that. I said that all day. I said he's going to score. I didn't want him to, but I said he will score because you know what he expected him.
And he did.
In regards to your question,
here's
your answer. 2 years ago in lockdown, Wolves won 1-0. Leander Dendoncker scored
against Villa at Villa Park in the Premier League. So Sam was wrong then. There you go.
That was the last time, but the time before that was Jarvis.
Well, I think what we'll do in Sam's defence, we'll say that in front of a crowd. Was it? I bet it was in front of a crowd too.
Well, yeah, if it's in front of a crowd, Jarvis, yeah.
Can't even get him out of jail on that one then. Well, listen, Wolves, Carl is telling us that Wolves are third on Match of the Day, so there's no need to panic. What's your performance rating?
Can I do both? Can I do first 80 and the last 15?
Why not? Right, go for it. I mean,
first 80, I'd give it
I'd say normally it's a game of 2 hours, but today it's a game of 80 minutes and 15 minutes at the end.
Yeah. First 80, I'm going to say a 5, because I didn't think there was too many sloppy mistakes, I thought, personally. I mean, you look at the second goal, it's a misplaced by Juan. And then if you look at goal, it actually comes off Neves. The deflection, it comes off Neves, and you're like, oh, okay. 2 mistakes, but the last 15 minutes, I'm not even going to say a number because it was that amazing. I can't even. It'll be 1 million because it was that amazing to watch.
And to be there to witness it as well, man. To be in the ground, and then, as I say, it's only happened 3 times in Premier League era that a team that has been losing 2-0 after the 80th minute has come back to win the game 3-2.
Apparently, we're 4th on Match of the Day, according to people in the comments.
Can you believe that? Well, how can you be 4th on Match of the Day? I mean, I know there was the Leicester game.
There was a great game with Leicester, which is on Match of the Day now as we speak. But it's one of them. It's one of them. I'm still in shock, mate. Honestly, I can't believe what's happened today.
I know, and we're currently 8th, 12 points. 3 points off Champions League. 2 points.
It's reality. Like, people have got to look at it. If you win the next one against Leeds, you'll be in that position, and you'll have some fans thinking, "Nah, this ain't going to happen." But I ain't being funny. It's doable.
It is. It really is. We've got a dream, mate. I mean,
exactly,
we haven't drawn a game yet either. It's either like win or lose. And we've played 8. Is it played 8 or 7?
Yeah, we've played 8.
1-4, lost 4. No, and the goal difference 0. But we're 8th in the table.
Exactly.
It's a funny, and we've played better in the first 3 games than we have probably in the latter one. But that's football for you.
Exactly.
True. Carl says we're 1 point better off than this stage last season, and don't forget it wasn't far off when Raul got injured. Trudy says, great show tonight. Luke says, with 3 points off the top 4, the rise begins. If we can get to January and bring in Neto back, and we're going to need to bring in defenders because there's 2 going.
100%. We need a centre half. 100%.
Well, we're going to lose Soyis and Bolly to the African now. I know Bolly's not getting into the side. And Darren says, to finish off, looking forward to Leeds away. Are you going to Leeds, mate?
Yes, I am, Matt, and I can't wait already.
I'll see you there.
Yes, mate.
Listen, just to finish off the show, If you've enjoyed this show, please smash a like. Please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting the bell. Again, same if you're watching it back on YouTube, and if you're listening to it, Sunday, Monday onwards on the Always Wolves podcast, please leave us a rating. Thank you to Spider VPN for powering this. Thanks to all my guests tonight. It's been a fantastic lineup of guests. Thanks for being so patient, Jack. And thanks to all of you guys for joining in the chat and in the comments. Much appreciated. We're all going to go off now, get a cup of tea or a tipple or whatever it is, kick our heels up. And I'm looking forward to watching that back on Match of the Day.
Same here, mate. I can't wait to watch it.
I know. From myself and Jack and all of the guys and gals, always Wolves.